Well, this is a story about try, and even if the Supreme Court says no, try again. Financial giant Merrill Lynch is on the hood for $160 million because of the determination of our next guest, George McReynolds, who joins us on the phone from Tennessee, along with his attorney, George Robot, who is in Chicago. I want to thank both of you gentlemen for being with us on Arise America.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
So I'm going to have to, because you're both George, I'll say George M. and George R. So you know who I'm talking to. But congratulations to both of you on this settlement. This is a big deal. How do you feel about it, George M.?
Oh, I feel great. It gives us a little satisfaction to know that we're finally at a position where we can do some of the things we've wanted to do for some time.
Tell us the story. Remind us of the story. You filed this suit back in 2005, but you had been at Merrill Lynch for quite some time. What sort of treatment of African Americans did you see and did you experience that led to you filing this suit?
Well, what I saw over the years was the number of African Americans that were hired into this area was very small. In the state of Tennessee, where I am, at the time I was first started, which was back in the early 80s, I was the only African American in the state.
And tell me about the treatment that you saw, both for you and for the few other African Americans that were employed there. How were you treated? What kind of assignments did you get? What kind of accounts did you get compared to your other white counterparts?
The accounts that we get are a lot of them we have to self-source, but the others, there are some when people leave, their accounts are being distributed. And in those accounts that were being distributed, most often the accounts that were distributed to the African Americans were very low in value. And that created a difficult situation in trying to work with those folks at the same time. The amount of assets that you have determines on what size accounts did you get. So people that were being given larger accounts were naturally put higher, and us that were given lower accounts were put lower.
George R., let me bring you into this discussion. I don't even know what to ask you first. I'll start with this. Merrill Lynch agreed last week to settle for $160 million. I believe that's the largest discrimination settlement of a private employer ever. What does that settlement amount tell you about the case that you had?
Well, certainly today's climate, I think it's, significant. It is historic, and it's the largest common fund settlement where there's been a fund established for resolution of claims. What the amount tells us is I think we had a very compelling argument towards prevailing at trial. I mean, obviously, nobody's admitted a win or a loss in this. It is a settlement. But,
and with this settlement, let me jump in because we're quickly running out of time. With this settlement, is there terms for changes of policies and practices at Merrill Lynch?
Absolutely. That's always been one of the more significant aspects of this litigation for all the named plaintiffs. We are, through the settlement, we're attempting to remedy the enormous attrition rate through the training program that has been historically leading to the underrepresentation of African Americans as tenured FAs. Although Merrill hires a reasonable representation of African Americans into the training program, the attrition rate is more than double that for white trainees in given years, primarily for a number of reasons that we've discovered through the expert discovery phase, and hopefully some of the programmatic changes that we were implementing as a result of the settlement will lead to a fairer representation and ultimately greater acceptance of African Americans.
Sure hope so. Let me jump in again. George M., two things. This took you 8 years to get this settlement, 2 trips to the Supreme Court where they declined to take your case. Why didn't you give up?
Well, my kids will tell you I'm very stubborn. I don't like to give up, and I won't let something die.
And let me jump in here because I want to get this in before I have to let you go. You still work at Merrill Lynch. Why did you stay?
I'm staying because I want to see changes. I want to see a level playing field for new people that are coming in. it's just something I want to see happen. And the best way to see it is to be here and to be part of the process.
And I'm just curious whether or not there was any change in your treatment as you were going through the court system with this case. I mean, you filed this case in 2005. Again, that was 8 years ago, and you've been working there since. Have you been treated differently since this case has made its way through the courts?
The treatment has been basically the same.
That's incredible. That's incredible. For people out there who are facing discrimination in the workplace, in the final few seconds, George McReynolds, what's your advice to them?
Do what you can to make things better for the people that come behind you.
Very, very well said. We will leave it right there. George McReynolds, George Robot, thank you both for your time, and congratulations again.
And thank you.
And you are watching Arise America.